What's up, everybody, and welcome to, I guess, AEW Winter is Coming recap. It's not this week in wrestling because it's the middle of the week. Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling, YouTube.com/that hashtag show TV, and Twitch.tv/that hashtag show. My name is John. I am joined by Neeson. Neeson, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty cold up. I wouldn't say fired up, but I'm cold up, brother.
No, yeah. Blood runs cold. Blood runs cold. Guys, we're going to be talking about Winter is Coming, the AEW event that just ended 10 minutes ago. We hope everyone is having a good middle of the week. I believe this show will solely be about AEW. Matthew, what did you do? I know you had something to do with Kenny Omega and Don Callis going to the Impact Zone.
Guys, if all said and done, the real winners is Impact on Tuesday nights.
Oh my god.
And that's it. Like we could go home after that. That's who won the night. Tuesday night's Impact. That's it. They won.
That's must-see television now.
It's now we now have a legit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday nights of wrestling. And boy, oh boy, who's excited? This guy and this guy.
RVD's on Impact. So, what did we think of this show, Neeson? If this was kind of billed like a Clash of the Champions, supposed to be a stacked card overall, and I mean we'll get to the surprises and the title changes. Overall, what did you think of this event?
I fell asleep through it a couple of times, so I don't know. Like mind you, coming off a flight, but also I didn't view it as the super show I think it was made to be. Yeah, I don't think it gave me that feeling. In the chat that we were talking about, I told you that AEW doesn't grab me with storylines, but their big punches, they land pretty heavy, and so it's kind of a thing of the reveals, the title changes were enough to be like, oh, I guess that was an okay show. But without that, I would have been like, I could have watched the go home for War Games,
which we will be talking about this Sunday
after
because it's not on Saturday. Oh, but we will. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
It's a lot.
So I agree with you. I feel like the show it was billed to be a big show. Yes, there were big things that happened, but overall, I mean, nothing too. I kind of wish I'd watched NXT. I heard Pat McAfee once again cutting god tier promos.
Wait, guys. We don't usually do Wednesday shows. No,
we do not.
Google says he would have rather watched NXT. You guys don't understand how big that is. I had to scratch the record. You don't get it. I watch NXT faithfully on Wednesdays. Pingle will get his feelings hurt and watch AEW faithfully and get mad and say, why didn't I watch it? And for him to say right now, live on air, on THS Wrestling Special Edition Wednesday, after Winter is Coming, he told you guys, our THS faithful, that he would have rather watch NXT. Because of who?
Pat McAfee.
Because of Pat McAfee.
The savior of professional wrestling, Pat McAfee.
Savior of professional wrestling.
That's literally what he should start calling himself.
The best promo in the business. The number one heel in the business. And I say that because when he first came on NXT, I said, oh, he's the best promo, and he needs to go right to the main roster right now. He needs to be on Friday. He needs to be on SmackDown, the A show. He needs to cut a promo against Roman Reigns and go for the Universal title right now.
He could be like Roddy Piper.
Yes.
Roddy Piper, not like the greatest professional wrestler, but
like after like
one of the best talkers.
Roddy Piper in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Roddy Piper in the 90s had one of his best matches ever against Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 7. Someone will correct me.
Thomas will correct you. But back to AEW.
Yes, back to AEW. So yeah, I mean, like you said, the big moves feel big. The close of the show was hot. With literally like, stay out of Shelbyville. That's literally what the end of this was. Just like a bunch of people shaking their fists.
Why? Why did you do that, Kitty?
I thought, because we know Tony Khan is right there. They've secretly kind of built that up, that we see Tony Khan every once in a while. We see him back there. And then for him to get up and take off his, and he's like, what are you doing? I loved that. I thought that was great. But yeah, I felt kind of like the middle of this card it set up some stuff, but
Okay, I mean, let's start from the top. We had a battle royal, right?
The Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal,
right? So this was to go for the Dynamite ring again, correct?
So the two men left in the ring fight each other next week for the Dynamite Diamond ring, and that'll be MJF and Orange Cassidy, which I am looking forward to.
Yes, this is the future of the company, and I think it'll be great.
Yes.
I thought it was a little messy. Look, I love JR, but him on commentary, guys, I'm just not a fan. I am not a fan at all. And this match, the start of the show proved it. He was just, it just wasn't clear, but plus maybe it was camera shots as well, because it was saying people got eliminated. I didn't even know we're in there or seen get eliminated.
Yeah.
There were so many things happening that are, there's so many things happening. But I think we got to where we want to be, like the future of this company, minus Ricky Starks, because look, I think absolute Ricky Starks is a future star. I just think he's a future star in WWE, not in AEW. That's another story for another time. But goddamn, that man's not a star. I thought you go from the Battle Royal they went to the Brent Baker match, correct?
It went Battle Royal, Jericho, Kazarian, then Baker, Layla.
This didn't feel, it felt like a normal TV show. It didn't feel like winter was coming. I get winter was coming meant Sting.
Yes.
But it just, with those two matches, can Chris Jericho retire that elbow? Can he retire perfect?
If he hits it right and he's with the right person, it looks very cool, but you can't always be with the right person all the time. That makes it look cool.
Bro, that was, he literally was just standing to his back, and then Chris ran into it, and he just did this. This is literally it. He just did this.
Do you think, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit. Well, no, that was in this match. Do you think next week with the Inner Circle possibly breaking up, do you think this is going to be an excuse to give Jericho some much needed time off? Because he's been going hard in the paint. He's been on TV like every week.
I think I don't think we're gonna get time off with Sting back, because all I kept thinking is like, we're getting Chris Jericho versus Sting at some point, and I'm not gonna want to see it.
Well, we'll get to that.
But I think no, you know what? I don't care. I think that's the point. Like, this Inner Circle, the inner circle and the not inner circle, like,
it feels a little rushed.
It feels a lot of rush, but it also just feels like the same thing. We've been doing this for months.
Yeah.
You know, like let it sit in first. Give us some little like give us some time to play this out. Like, we all know it's gonna be a MJF and Warlord in there to cause mayhem within Inner Circle, but it hasn't been enough TV to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I just didn't feel it. It didn't have that impact. No pun intended.
But yeah, I mean the Kazarian Jericho match, I get it was the first time it ever happened. I appreciate that. I thought the match itself was fine. I can't believe I will say one thing. Chris Jericho did a Spanish Fly in 2020. That is nuts. Hats off to that. He is one crazy motherfucker.
50-year-old. I mean, it was 100 years. It was 100 years plus last week in the ring.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
It's nuts.
2020, guys. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It almost felt like this was the event after, for the most part, felt like the event after a pay-per-view.
Absolutely. That is the perfect way to sum that up.
This was basically like,
or the go home.
It was either the go home or I think this more felt like Monday Night Raw after Mania. That's kind of what this felt like.
Yes.
You get a big surprise. You usually don't always have a title change on those. Yes, you do. I think sometimes you do, but you get the big surprise. You get a lot of setup. That's just kind of what it felt like. And after the Jericho Kazarian match, we had, as I put in my notes, the Young Bucks are saying things. And they are interrupted by the Acclaim, who I believe are newly signed. I've seen them on Dark. Neeson, what do you I don't think this was their best work, but what do you think of the Acclaim?
What do I think of the Acclaim? I think it's a shame. I think they need to go back to their books and work on their rhymes again. I mean, sorry guys. I think it. If you don't know who they are, it felt like, who are these guys? And but I don't know if it could have been another way for World Star.
I like that.
I don't know if it could have been another way that they could have been introduced though. So
I think this would have hit harder if it was an in-ring.
Right, in front of a crowd,
because you get their music, and he could wrap up against their music like he usually does.
It could have been a lot more to it. It's just, and then you have it coupled with H2. Is that their name?
The Hybrid 2, yes, yeah. H2.
Yeah, it just didn't seem big enough. Like, and it's like, oh, okay, you're just gonna be Private Party 2.0. I mean, cool, got it.
I guess first impressions, do you like them better than Private Party?
Hey man, you know what? I watched BTE and I saw not Isaiah, the other one,
Mark,
and he took the dye out his hair and he had his hair braided. And I was like, I instantly like these guys. They just had a different look. And then what did he do today? He had the two mohawk with the dye joint.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, you're doing too much again. I don't even want to see you wrestle now. Like, you're just doing way too much. Way too much. So I don't know, man. But I'm excited to see what they do. Look, man, the Bucks are the Bucks. And the one thing that I love that they said was didn't somebody already do this gimmick?
Yes, I thought that was funny. Although it does kind of shit on them a little bit, which, I mean, I guess it's the Young Bucks. That's what they're supposed to do. But we're just being introduced to these guys. And it's not in the same exact vein, but it's almost like The Rock not knowing who Booker T is, kind of just shitting on him immediately.
Who in the blue hell are you?
Speaking of, that was the moment Sting knew that he was never going to go to WWF or E. Anyway.
Yeah.
Up next, we had Dr. Brent Baker, DMD, taking on legit Layla Hirsch. Neeson, have you seen Layla Hirsch wrestle before?
I have not. This was my first time seeing Layla Hirsch wrestle. The one thing I will say, kudos to AEW for not having their women's match like last week. Their first women's anything didn't happen until an hour and 30 minutes into their show. So kudos for them having it happen within almost the first hour. Bravo. I commend you. I commend you. You also ruined it when you announced like 8 matches next week. And none of them a woman's match. You just announced that what's her name? What's the fiend? The fiend
Abaddon.
Abaddon. You just announced that Abaddon will be there. And then you had an interview with Kushida. We'll get to it, but you guys are really
I will say this match overall felt a little sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the great height difference, but I've seen Layla Hirsch wrestle a lot. She's had a lot of great matches with a lot of different wrestlers. I thought this match was okay. I think it shows like I'm trying to pump the brakes a little bit on the women's division, and I will say we if you think about it, we're leading up to Abaddon Hikaru Shida, and we're actually doing a secondary women's feud with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. So I'll wait and see what they do with that. If they somehow have both of those matches on one show, I will lose my mind.
Well, I think we're gonna get a tag team match, right? We're gonna get
Layla and Thunder versus Britt and Rebel.
Yes, which I'm excited for. And I know this is just sounds like I'm home running, but I wish all 4 of those ladies were in WWE. Like
all 4 of them.
All 4. We talked about how I wish Thunder Rosa was in W because I feel like she is the one that could walk in and she could go against Sasha Banks and have credibility and represent the Latinos on the women's side of WWE, and something that they really could use and market, and they will really make her a star. I feel like what's her name that just wrestled today?
Layla
Hirsch. Put her with Shayna Baszler.
Ooh.
Put her, like, if you want to you could make a 4 horsewoman out of Shayna Baszler. Her, you don't need Ronda. Or you could just have her with Sonya Deville come back when Sonya Deville comes back. Like, there's so many options with her. Because when I looked at her, I was like, okay, yeah, she's small, but she definitely has something, and I see it. Like, I for sure see it. And then, Brent Baker, I just think she's a star. Like, I think Brent Baker her character is bigger than who she is, and she doesn't know it yet. But she's getting there. Like, she's getting, like, her character, when she's on TV, people will be like, oh, she's a star. Just like Chelsea Green. Like, Chelsea Green cannot say anything, but as soon as she walks on TV, she's a star. Absolutely.
That is Mike. That is some Jim Ross. Oh, I thought you wanted Diesel and Razor Ramon. That's what that would be. It would be him bringing out the fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon, which I would be 100% on board for.
This is how Ronda walks down to the ring.
That would be so funny. Oh my god.
But yeah.
Up next, we had
come on.
We had the TNT champion Darby Allin and Cody taking on Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks of Team Taz, the greatest faction in AEW history, in my opinion.
I was doing my best Cody Rhodes impression, by the way.
Fuck, dude. We got to talk about the beginning of the, like, so you are a television company. You're a television product. And you mean to tell me this match starts and they go, oh, we got to go to break. Picture.
You didn't start at the beginning.
What do you mean?
You mean having their champion come skateboard to the ring. Soon as he gets to the ring, his music cuts off to get 10 minutes of
Cody's 15 theme songs.
And
Come on, Arn. Come on, Arn. This is my friend, Arn Anderson. I'm going to tell you my entire history with him right now.
Look, and this is not to knock. I'm not knocking Cody or AEW, but what I'm saying is this is your TV champion, your TNT champion. I felt like he got swallowed in this whole ordeal.
You know what they should have done? They should have just had him skateboard out with Arn Anderson. That's basically what they did.
Like, I don't understand. This is like, do people remember that Darby Allin is a champion besides his Novar Arngard videos he shoots? Like, do people actually remember that Darby Allin is a champion? Do you, chat? Do you remember?
Do you remember that Darby Allin is a champ? I will say we didn't record last week, but I don't know if it's our Mets connection, but Taz was saying everything out loud on television that was in my head for the past couple of weeks. And when he put the Taz mission on Cody, I need a high def picture of that. I'm gonna get it framed, and it's gonna be the greatest picture of all time. Taz is amazing. They cut off his music. Cody gets his full entrance, and then we get Hobbs and Starks come out, and then we're off to the races, and they go, "Oh, we need to take a break." Immediately.
But they don't take a break immediately.
Well, because they're still broadcasting for Fight TV, so I think they were waiting for the break, because Fight TV, they broadcast internationally on Fight TV, and they still do commentary on it. So they pause for the break, and then they keep doing it's weird. I know, it's strange.
That doesn't. You're on network television, and
I know
network television audience that you're going to break, and then you hear them saying, "Keep going, keep going, keep going." And that's when Excalibur comes in, like,
and then it cuts to break
out of nowhere.
So did Jim Ross jump the gun?
Yes.
On the break. They were not supposed to go to break then?
They were not supposed to go to break at that moment.
Okay. Well, then that makes a lot more sense than me going, Cody Rhodes gets his full entrance. We cut off Darby's entrance, and we have to go to break. Like, isn't somebody timing it?
It would have made sense if they did the entrance, go to break, and then come back, right?
Yes.
But they did the entrance. They did all the entrances, and then they started the match, and then they were like, they got into the heat spot of the match and said, "Yeah, we're gonna go to break." It's like, you're not gonna double down. You're not, and we're all wrestling. We're all marks. We know, like, you're not gonna double down to anything. You're not gonna like give a cliffhanger. No, they're in the middle of a corner.
Yeah,
like they're literally in the middle of a corner.
I'm trying to think of like a takeaway from this match, which I mean, Ricky Starks is great. I'm really liking Hobbs in this role. I think, man, I'm so glad that 6-man with him. If this was Endgame, great. But if it wasn't, with him and Moxley and Darby, they were supposed to have that 6-man. If you remember correct, but they had to nix it for some reason. If this was Endgame, great. I love Hobbs in this role. I love that he's rocking Team Taz colors too, and basically Taz's actual like old school singlet with a little flair to it. But yeah, Cody and Darby win, and it's like, who cares? Like, I don't care. That doesn't do anything for me.
If this is Endgame, it's Taz, Thanos, and Hobbs and Ricky Starks are Thanos' kids that he sends to go collect the Infinity Stones. Sorry, I've been watching Endgame like 5 times.
I called it off a still on your Instagram.
Yeah, you did.
Like, I know what that is.
You got but when you said Endgame, I was just gonna give the Captain America speech, like, whatever.
Oh.
Wow, he's really good at that, right? It's like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean the match ends. Darby and Cody win. Darby hits a stiff coffin drop. Woof. That was ridiculous. And then we're beaten up. Team Taz is beaten up the Nightmare family, which is weird because isn't there like 18 million other people in the Nightmare family now? And also just looking towards next week, why is Dustin Rhodes fighting 10 of the Dark Order on Dynamite?
You don't want to announce a female you don't want to announce a female match, but you announce Dustin Rhodes fighting 10 from the Dark Order after he gets his ass beat by a Taz team?
I don't know. I don't know.
I need answers.
But everyone's getting beat up. Arn Anderson's getting beat up. Team Taz is getting the advantage, and then the lights go out in the city.
Ah!
Ted is going to pull that. I mean, that would be fine. I would be fine with that. That at least makes sense.
It's gotta be Cage.
And we get the winter's cut. As soon as I saw the crow, I said out loud, I went, "Oh my God, it's Sting."
Same.
And out comes Sting for the first time on TNT in forever. I was laughing, but because I could not believe it. And Sting is in All Elite Wrestling. We heard rumors. We also heard the rumors that WWE pulled a prototype, I guess, of his figure. So everyone's like, what's going on with that? Sting comes out. Team Taz bails. He stares everyone else down in the ring. The Darby one was pretty cool. I will admit, I was like, okay, it's like the dad came to check in on his kid. He's just staring at everybody and just leaves. And then we get
both sides of Darby, though.
Yeah. He wanted, because there's two sides to Darby Allin.
It's a dead.
But he just leaves, and then we get an announcement that Sting has been signed to All Elite Wrestling. If you didn't know by the fucking shirt that said it on when he came out, to a multi-year deal. I guess my question to you is, what do you think of Sting showing up in All Elite Wrestling just in general?
Okay.
And what do you think of this multi-year deal? We don't have details. It's just a multi-year deal.
I'm hoping it's a Legends contract. I'm hoping that he becomes a commissioner or some form of authority, like a myth authoritative figure. But I don't want to see him wrestle. I don't. The last time I seen him wrestle, he almost died.
Right.
Legitly.
Great match, though. Great match.
Incredible match. Fantastic. But he almost died.
Yeah, that
and
too.
That is the most important thing. And
yeah, absolutely.
As you get older, unless he went and got stem cell treatment and got a whole new spinal cord, it deteriorates even more. And I don't want to see that. And I'm scared to see that. And so my first thought was, when I seen him and I seen him staring at everybody, all I could think was, we're going to get Chris Jericho versus Sting. This is going to be the end of one of them. We saw Tyson versus Roy Jones this weekend.
Yes, we did.
I thought one of them was going to explode in a puff. So I'm scared. But if he is Darby's manager, I don't want to see that either, because I ruined the mystique of Sting. But it's something that I was excited. When I seen him walk out, and he stood there. I didn't like the music, but I just thought.
I like the music.
Yeah, see, I think I just thought it could have been a little more dark.
I think I was too like, holy shit, Sting is on TNT and in an AEW ring, and I went, this music sounds good. I'll go back and listen to it, but
I think they did a great job of nailing that home. I mean, since March 21st, 2001, like he's back on TNT. The guy that, would have never left TNT if he didn't have to, right? He went to TNA when he could have went to WWE, and he was a mainstay at TNA. And so now with Impact in AEW working, are we at Impact now? Like, I'm truly excited, and this is the thing. This is something that AEW truly hang their hat on and say, "Hey, we have this. Let's run with it." Because it's good, man. It's a good move. I'm with it. I'm for it. I just don't want to see him wrestle.
Now, John, thank you for the comments. He does say, would love to see Sting as Darby's manager. We kind of don't. I think you and I don't. Yeah, no. I don't see Sting as a manager. I mean, Arn Anderson makes sense. Sting, I don't know if I want to see it. But he does say, or, Darby's manager or tag team partner. Now, I know you said you don't want to see. No, just that's a straight up no. Not even if it's in a tag team,
bro. Because he has to take a bump.
Yeah.
Like think about. Okay, remember when Daniel Bryan had his first match and we watched it and we're still like,
yeah,
okay, is he okay?
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan. This is 37-year-old Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Not 50-plus-year-old that had the same injury that that Paige has.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
No.
What about a commissioner role? Now, I could see it as long as it's still feels like Sting and it doesn't feel like Steve Borden, If he like a more authority figure, not the Authority.
That would be hilarious, though. If he turned into the Authority when he was the one
that came,
the Authority, that will be incredible.
I could see a commissioner role, but I don't know if it's. Do you think a commissioner role is needed right now?
No, I think they do a good job with quote unquote hiding Tony Khan, which that was supposed to be the thing. Tony Khan was never supposed to be seen on TV, but he's been seen on TV and
he's been seen a lot
and on AEW Dark a lot. But yeah, it'll ruin the mystique. It'll ruin the mystique of Sting, and so I'm not really for that. So it's just gonna be interesting to see how this plays. I'm all for it though. I am all for him being a part of AEW. I felt like that shirt is dope. The shirt looks amazing with the logo at the top. The hoodies look great. It's gonna be a great Christmas for Pingle and Sting.
And Sting. I'll get all my money.
All your money. Yeah, man, it's all pluses. I just want to know why. Like, I really want to know why he left WWE. Like, that's my thing. Like, was it just because like this is my opportunity to go back to TNT, or was it that they're gonna let him wrestle?
Mike says it best. All I want to see is Arn turning on Sting. I think in the moment when they looked at each other, he's like, I should punch him right now. But he didn't want to because he was too shocked.
I don't know what they're going to do.
What are they going to do?
Arn is going to turn on Sting, which is going to cause Cody to turn on Darby, which is going to have Sting in one corner, Arn in another corner, and Cody versus Darby, now heel versus face, for another TNT championship match.
Gross. I hate that. Well, I mean, Sting's going to let us know next week, but from what I've heard, I'm pretty sure Sting is not going to talk shit about WWE from what I have heard about him as a human being. Let's move on. Sting, great. I'm also happy Sting's here. I don't know if I want to see him wrestle. I think I'd be okay with it, but I need like reassurance,
As a resident WCW fan that you are,
yes.
Is it ow or woo? I never knew what exactly it was? It's both?
It's usually Ao, but sometimes it's Wu. I think he changes it up, but Ao is...
I thought it was Ao for a long time. Then I heard him say like, whoa. And I was just like, what?
He does both of them, but Ao was Surfer Sting.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. No, that's what I do. All right.
So we had a backstage interview with Hikaru Shida, and I said this was the best Hikaru Shida interview they've ever done, because we're starting to see a little bit like, hey, Hikaru Shida, are you scared of Abaddon? And she's like, no, she can fight me. I don't care. She's just a girl doing zombie cosplay, which I popped for. I thought that was very cocky and very funny. This is stuff we've been seeing from her on Twitter. And then like a shovel falls over and she gets scared. Like I'm not expecting an Oscar-worthy performance from her, but this was, at least better than what we've been seeing. And she's like, I gotta go, and leaves. So it's just a short little segment. I thought it was fine. Like, she talked her shit, and then it showed that she is actually kind of scared of Abaddon, and there we go. Yes. Oh my God. We'll get to it. I don't even know what the end of the show is going to be. We're going to get to it like in about 5 minutes here. So we had our main event of the evening, Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is your new AEW World Champion due to nefarious means. Don Callis. Oh, yeah, Kenny Omega invited me here. He said it was the biggest match of his career.
They definitely tipped their hat with that.
He did say that last time.
Well, when he won for the tournament, right?
He did say Kenny Omega invited me here.
Yeah, that's what I said. They definitely tipped their hat with it. I think I was letting myself get ahead of myself with them selling me on it was just going to be like a wrestling match inside the ring. I was expecting AJ Styles versus John Cena at Rumble 2016 type of thing or something like that. So when they started going outside and doing the whole thing and on the benches, I was like, oh, okay, like, cool. Like, it says something, and this is no knock to the match or no knock to any of them, but it just says something when everybody worked the outside of the ring in every single match.
Yeah.
And then the main event does it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't know about you, but it didn't feel as big. Like, the title change didn't feel big, but the after booking and like the running away and like all that felt big. But the title change didn't feel big. Like, Kenny Omega, I was like, yeah.
I almost wonder if it's because we expected Kenny Omega to win.
Right. That's probably it.
I think that's what it is. Like, I went into the match knowing in my heart that Kenny Omega was going to be the winner of this match. And as soon as he hit One Wing Angel, the most protected finish in all of wrestling, that's it. Mm-hmm. So I thought the match was hard hitting. I thought it was a good match. I thought the chairs was a little interesting. I think that kind of took away from the match. I got the misdirect where he's like, oh no, he's going to hit him with the chairs. And they just sit down and slap the shit out of each other, which is fine. It just, I think, slowed the pace of the match a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's another thing, John. That's a great point. They were like, TNT's going to let us go if we go over. TNT's going to let us do our thing. And they did not go over. They went straight, ended at 7:00. So that was a little, I guess, disappointing, but I don't know how long of a match I want to see between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. That's not a knock on either one of them. It's just, I don't know if I want to watch an hour-long match between those two.
Right.
That's just me. But yeah, very hard hitting. Moxley, I think he hits the paradigm shift on Omega on the outside into the heaters. Referees come out. Now, here's one thing that I thought was going to happen. all night long, and this was a good misdirect too. Yeah, 3 paradigm shifts. If you have to hit 3 and it doesn't work, that's not your finisher anymore. I'm sorry, it's not. All night long, these motherfuckers on commentary are making subtle or not so subtle New Japan references all night long. Earlier in the day, Kenta posted on his Instagram account, "It's Wednesday," in all caps, with a little dynamite emoji. And I thought for sure, because Kenta has the briefcase that gives him the right to face for the IWGP United States Championship, that John Moxley is probably sits in his dog's bed at home, because we don't know what's going on with that. He has the right for that. And Kenta has been saying, maybe I'll just show up. He's been hinting at it. And I thought that was what was going to happen here. And I thought it was a good misdirect, because we got references, the King Kong Lariat. I think they were talking about Minoru Suzuki and Okada. I mean, Kenny Omega did the Rainmaker pose, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. So I was like, something's going to happen here. And I think that was good on their part, because I did not expect what happened at the end of this to happen. Don Callis comes down, gets on a microphone, says, "Stop the match. He's hurt." Moxley attacks him. And I loved when Callis fell over, rose petals flew like it was a John Woo movie, flew all over the place.
I was like, did he have rose petals? Oh yeah, he put it to a pill. I was definitely confused for a second.
I was too. I was like, was that for the end of the match celebration? What just happened? Celebration. And Omega uses the microphone. Commentary's going absolutely insane. They're like, what about the gentleman's agreement? What about the gentleman's agreement? Omega's busted open. He gets about 50 V triggers for his troubles. And then he gets hit with the one-winged angel. And we're done here. Kenny Omega, new champion. Don Callis grabs the title, grabs Kenny Omega. They run to the back. They don't even sit. There's no celebration. Run to the back. Tony Khan's like, what are you doing? Like that. And then they keep running. And everyone in the locker room is like, wow, just shaking their shake harder, boy. Shake harder. You stay out of Shelbyville.
That ratchet Moxley or Kenny.
And a wild Alex Marvez appears, and he goes, "Hey, Kenny, Don, what the hell was that? What are you guys doing?" And Don, who's I think one of my favorite talkers, I love Don Callis. He goes, "I'll tell you what we're doing. You can see all about it on Tuesday night on Impact." And they leave, and that car took off. That car, I was like, "Oh God, slow down."
So remember when Kenny broke up with? By the way, amazing shirt. Remember when Kenny broke up with Hangman, and then he got in a car. Off. That was the start of this.
I think so. Holy shit! I completely forgot about that.
That's what I instantly thought about when I seen, because it's just right, but it didn't have Marvez. First of all, Marvez hiding behind the trailer and then getting him, and it was the funniest thing.
Good stuff,
Marvez. Kenny Omega and Don Callis have pulled off the coup of the century, coup of 2020 in wrestling, by making people watch Impact on Tuesdays. Now, they did it. Now we've been watching Impact more.
Yes. Independently, we had no insider information
since Slammiversary.
Yes.
Right. And man, oh man, they were like, how can we capitalize off this momentum? And after the interview that I did with Rocky and Carl Anderson, which you can check on our YouTube, by the way.
Yes.
And I asked them, would there ever be working within promotions? And Rocky said, absolutely, between Impact and New Japan and AEW. He could definitely see it happening sooner than later.
We're one promotion away from that happening.
Oh, and I think it's going to happen sooner than later with these 3 promotions. Because right now you have NWA,
yes,
Impact, AEW, New Japan. That's the only thing. I mean, technically, you could say you have PWG. I mean, you can say that if you want to toss that in there. But you have all of them in one arena. WWE is going to have to look long and hard at NXT because NXT was their, oh, this is our alternative to our cookie cutter, mainstream wrestling. That's gonna get views and it's gonna be big, and that's what's gonna be what that's gonna be. It's gonna be PG, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. NXT was supposed to not be that. So now they're gonna have to really look long, deep, and hard. Like, how can we make NXT a viable contender against not only 1, but 4 entities working against them? AEW. They're like the Avengers. AEW, Impact,
oh my god,
NWA, and New Japan Strong Style, and New Japan.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they are now the Avengers of pro wrestling, going against the big machine, the big Thanos, the big Galactus, the big whoever you want to name him, Vince McMahon. And I know we didn't talk about this. I know we need to talk about this because it broke my heart when I saw that Pat Patterson passed away.
It's when we do specials like this, it's kind of hard when something that that sad happens in the day. But I woke up and I was like, oh no, Pat Patterson, a trailblazer for many reasons. I think possibly one of the first openly gay people in wrestling. And yes, rest in peace, Pat Patterson, one of the great finish men of all time. Every time I'd listen to 83 Weeks, Eric Bischoff would go, if we just had Pat Patterson, we would have won. We would have won. He like everyone speaks so highly of Pat Patterson, the first Intercontinental Champion, a huge mainstay in the Bay Area at the Cow Palace, doing battle royals there. Just very, very tragic, very sad. And the entire wrestling world is mourning. It seems like everyone has a great Pat Patterson story. And I have not seen the Pat Patterson tribute on NXT yet, but I'm sure I will not be okay after it. But yes.
It's not it messed me up, and it also just makes me like, guys, give Vince his flowers while he's here. Like, I understand people don't like him, and I understand people think he's the ruining WWE, but he's also the reason why AEW can be AEW. Like, understand that if Vince didn't exist, if Vince would have left a long time ago, AEW wouldn't be AEW. It wouldn't exist because they needed somebody to go against that. They needed him. They needed to, they literally, every single BTE, they go to Walmart and show, well, there's WWE figures, but there's no AEW figures. They're all sold out. That's Vince.
Yeah.
And all I could think about is giving this man his flowers. And I do pray I just get to meet this guy some way, somehow before he passes, because he is responsible for a lot of all of our childhood memories.
Yeah.
He is why we're still here, because again, without him, there will be no people that could team like the big memories that we like about WCW and that we like about even TNA, Impact, and AEW is when they go against the big machine. And so we have to credit that for him being still being a big machine. So just give him his flowers. RP Pat Patterson. I just had to say that. I know, like, before we get out of here, because it's Wednesday, guys, and we still got another show on Sunday, and we still got some other interviews this week, and it's a great week for professional wrestling and the Olive Garden boys.
That's true. Apparently, producer Junior just sent this in. Callis tweeted, AEW screwed AEW. Tune into Impact. I love this. I know we went on, we were talking about it and we're coming back to it. I absolutely love this. I think this is going to be great. Fingers crossed that these 3 to 4 companies can figure out maybe a talent exchange. Maybe, I don't know what we're going to do, but this is exciting. This is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. When stuff like this happens, stuff you thought would never happen. This is exciting. And I can't wait. Yes, Matthew, you are right. Oh boy. Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend. We got GCW on Saturday. We'll be doing some stuff with that. There's a lot of stuff going on, but
wait, Tribute to the Troops is on Sunday as well? I thought it was next Sunday.
I hope they're not that would be weird. They're the same day.
Well, I think it's airing on Fox.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. So I think this is great. This partnership, whatever it is, and as soon as New Japan makes its way in there, listen, man, just give me Tetsuya Naito on AEW. Let's go, man. I'll walk to Florida.
See, that's tricky because they have NJPW Strong Style, right? So yes. They got to play that real tricky on how they can get viewers over to there in America.
This almost feels like, we know NWA is involved. This almost feels like territory stuff.
This definitely feels like territory stuff. And also, this feels like the Good Brothers. We're going to get some Good Brothers action coming real soon.
It's too hot. The hat's coming off.
This is fine.
Yeah, man. Good Brothers and Kenny. I mean, and then what does that mean for the Young Bucks? What does this mean for just this shakes stuff up in multiple companies. Yeah. It is very, very cool. And should just be exciting it's airing either before or after football. Well, I don't watch football because
I would watch football if
I'll watch it next year when we get that number 1 draft pick.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, unless he's like, I like education.
Which he should.
He should do that. Stay away. Do we have anything else?
Nah, man. See you guys Sunday.
All right, guys. Our social medias are right there in the corner. Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling, YouTube.com/that#show TV, Twitch.tv/that#show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again on Sunday after War Games. #show.com, that#show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Bye, Glock.